all the peoples in all the worlds tell you to build an email list. They tell you you need an email list to be successful. You need an email list to run a successful business or to make money. That an email list is where it's at. And by all the people in all the worlds, I am including myself in that. I absolutely agree with all of that. But how do you actually build an email list? How do you get people on an email list? How do you make sure that it makes you money? How do you get people there who want to buy from you? That's what we're going to talk about today. Hey, howdy, hey y'all. What is up? My name is Jessica Stansberry. If you are brand new here, I am here to help you create a business to support the life that you love. So if that sounds like your jam, make sure you hit subscribe if you have not done that below. I'm gonna make this video pretty short and sweet today because with the time that you would have normally spent watching the video, I want you to go out and do these things. Plan out how this is gonna work for you. Plan out how this is gonna work in your business, in your brand, with your channel, whatever this looks like for you. See, building an email list, the strategy is not hard. Knowing what to do is not hard at all, which is what we're gonna talk about today. But the problem is that sometimes people give up too quickly when they're doing the things we're gonna talk about. Sometimes people think like, oh, that's not working, or I'm only getting 2 or 3 subscribers to my email list a month or a week or whatever, implementing these strategies. And I'm here to tell you that the strategies will work. The problem is that you need to make sure you're doing the right one for your type of business and the right one for your type of audience, and have some patience. Nobody builds a 10,000 person email list in a week. Nobody builds a 100,000 person email list in 6 months. Nobody builds a 1,000 person email list in 2 weeks. It just doesn't happen unless you have an audience to throw towards it already, which if you do, is gonna be great, but it's still not going to be foolproof. I actually had someone recently ask me, they had a pretty decent sized channel on YouTube, and they were asking me, what I could expect from them starting an email list. Like, were all of those people from their YouTube channel going to convert to email list subscribers? And I was like, absolutely not. I mean, you're talking maybe 10%, if that, of those people are gonna take the time to go be an email list subscriber. And it's going to take different things to even get to that 10%. So just because you have a large audience doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna build an email list super quickly, but it is definitely going to help if you do. But here's the deal. You do not have to have a large audience to build a good email list. Absolutely not. You can build your email list at the same time you're building your audience. So how do you actually build it? Let's talk. Now, if you're like, what are you talking about with an email list? Why is it important? I've done several videos on this. I have a really recent video called Email Marketing for Beginners that's gonna answer all of those questions for you. So I will link that in a card above, and I'll make sure I put it in the description below as well. But today, we're really gonna dive in to how to build an email list. Okay, so first and foremost, and this is probably the one with the lowest barrier to entry, and this is probably the one that is the easiest to do, and this is probably the one that most people tell you about, and that is to offer freebies in your content. So if you're already creating YouTube content or blog content or Instagram content or whatever kind of content you're creating, go ahead and offer freebies that are an added bonus to that content that people will want when they're consuming that content. So example here, let's say in this video that I want to offer you a free guide to email marketing. I want to offer you a free guide to creating digital products or PDFs or something like that. So you can learn how to create PDFs to give them away as free products in your email list. I would then say within this video, I would say, hey, go over to whatever.com and grab your free guide to email marketing or whatever I was pushing. So create freebies that accompany the content you're already putting out, whether that's podcast content, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, blog, whatever. If you are doing a piece of content and there is like an extra strategy to it, or there is like a checklist that could go along with it, that is a great place to insert freebies into your existing content. So what this looks like from an actual in-use example is that, okay, I'm gonna offer someone a PDF to go along with the podcast episode that I just did. So in the podcast episode, I say go to xyandz.com/whatever to grab this free PDF. I have then created a PDF in Canva, in Word, like, what is that called? Google Docs, Photoshop, whatever. I've created a PDF that I want to give away. And then I set it up with my email marketing system. I told you guys last week I love ConvertKit. I'll set it up in ConvertKit to where there's a form that once someone fills out the form, they will get the freebie. So that is how they get on my email list. They fill out that form, they got the freebie. I gave them something in order to get them on my email list, and now they're on my email list and I can sell to them in the future. So giving a freebie with your current content is probably one of the easiest ways to actually start building your email list. But you have to know that if you don't have a ton of people watching your content or listening or reading your content already, it's going to be a really slow go to build your email list in that way. Okay, another way that you can build your email list is to host webinars or challenges or some type of event. So this is a really also easy way to, one, build your email list, but also build your income kind of simultaneously. So if you want to, let's say, sell a product or sell a course or sell a guide or an ebook or something like that, instead of just saying, hey, it's for sale, you might consider hosting a webinar, a challenge, or some other type of online event or even in-person event, but some kind of event that is going to give away free information. They have to sign up for that with their email address. That goes in your email list situation. So you have now built your email list. They come to your event, you give them free information, and in these instances, you can sell from that webinar or challenge or event as well. So it could kill 3 birds with 1 stone. It's getting really good information out to your potential clients and customers and getting them to trust you for future endeavors. It is building your email list, and it is possibly making you money. So hosting webinars and challenges is a really great way to build your email list, as well as giving away free products. So you can also host webinars, challenges, whatever, to just build your email list. You don't have to sell off the other end. I think a lot of times people hold off on getting people to sign up for webinars, hosting webinars, because they don't have anything to sell at the end. That's okay. Host the webinar and use it as an email list building strategy so that when you're ready to sell something at the end, you have those people on your list to sell to. So in addition to hosting webinars and hosting challenges by yourself, you can absolutely do some type of joint venture to grow your email list. You can do joint webinars, joint challenges. You can participate in giveaways. You can do collaborations on YouTube, blogs, Facebook, whatever, and have that grow your email list. But doing joint ventures is a really great way to get eyeballs that weren't already on you, and then hopefully that grows your email list if you do this strategically. So let's say I'm a web designer and I have a friend who's a copyright person, right? Like they're a copywriter. And we want to host a webinar together. She has a small audience and I have an audience about the same. We might have, 200 people following us on social media collectively, but we can get together and host a webinar. And now my audience thinks she's awesome. Her audience thinks I'm awesome. And we both got those signups from that webinar onto our email list, and it grew quite a bit. So doing joint ventures is awesome. And it's a really, really, really good way to grow your email list because those people, they were already following the other person probably that you are doing the joint venture with or the collaboration or whatever. And now because the other person trusted you to do this joint venture with them, these people trust you and now they're on your email list and you can sell to them later. So I should say that building your email list, like all the things I'm mentioning right now, are not the only ways to build your email list. You can have forced registration on content that is locked if people don't give you your email address. I see realtors doing this a lot. You can have lots of different things that are going to build your email list. You can also tie things together. So if you're doing a freebie or a webinar, you can tie that into Pinterest and allow Pinterest to help drive traffic to those things. So a lot of this is tieable together, and these are not an exhaustive list of everything you can and should do to build your email list. But I have one more to talk about. This one is probably my favorite. And if I were starting a business from scratch, this would be the one I would use, given that I could afford to, okay? So because it does involve a little bit of money. Now, let me put like a little note in here. There used to be these strategies where you could buy email lists and things like that, and I'm sure they're still around. Don't do that. Don't do that. Those people are not interested in what you have to sell, and you're going to have a lot better luck actually organically building your list and selling to those people than you will by buying a list and selling to people who have no clue who you are, and you're just going to annoy them, okay? So this option I'm going to talk about does require money up front, but you can build on it, and it doesn't have to require a ton of money up front, and if done correctly, it evens out in purchases and money spent. So there is something called a SLO funnel, and it's spelled SLO, and it stands for self-liquidating offer funnel. So essentially what that means is you create a low-priced offer, you run ads to people who might be interested in this low-priced offer, and as they purchase, they get on your email list and you make money. Then there are upsells within the funnel that allow you to make a little bit of profit so that you're not just evening out. But sometimes the self-liquidating offer is literally what it says, and it is self-liquidating. You are spending just as much money as you're making, but you're building your email list, and that's important. So if I were starting completely over, I would absolutely do this. And I have 2 SLO funnels running in my business right now, my ClickUp funnel, my ClickUp course funnel, and my digital planners funnel. So both of those are technically SLO funnels. So they're building my email list, and I'm making a little bit of money along the way. So I'm spending money to make money and to get people on my email list, but I'm making enough and getting enough people on my email list to where it's worth it. I actually have a whole podcast episode all about SLO funnels that I will link below because it's really too much to talk about in one video. But essentially, they are a really great paid way to build your email list. Now, they're not the only paid way. You can absolutely run ads to a freebie. You can, buy ad space in certain things to promote freebies or paid products, but they're a really great way to know that you are making up the money that you're spending on ads, and you're also building your email list so that when you have something to sell those people later down the road, it is a massively qualified audience. It's a massively vetted audience. 1, they like what you sell, and 2, they have already paid you. So to get them to pay you again is probably not that big of an ask. Okay, so to wrap this up, we can offer freebies, we can do webinars, we can do challenges, we can do joint ventures, and we can run ads to freebies and or small priced paid products like in an SLO funnel. And all of these ways are going to build your email list. Now, when I first started, honestly, still to this day, I really incorporate freebies into my content regardless of what I'm doing. Even if I am doing slow funnels, even if I am doing webinars, having freebies in my content allow me to grow my email list on autopilot. So that video from 2 years ago that has a freebie in it for Trello or whatever it is will grow my list. That video from 6 months ago where I talk about ClickUp, and I mention in the video that I have some ClickUp templates or I have a ClickUp course or whatever, that's going to continue to grow my list. So I incorporate a lot of these in together, but when I first started, my biggest play was to make sure I was incorporating freebies into my content. Then I focused on content growth, I focused on audience growth, I focused on getting more eyeballs on my business, on my YouTube channel, on my podcast, whatever, and that automatically put my email list growth on autopilot. And then I didn't have to worry about it. I automatically got thousands of people on my email list every month. And I automatically had people there who were interested in what I was going to sell when I came out with a new course or a product or a service. So know that you can use a lot of these together and that this isn't an exhaustive list, and you can totally get creative and sell or create things that build your email list as a whole. Something I would not recommend that used to be a thing and it's just not a thing anymore is to just hope that people will sign up for your email list for no reason. When I was just starting in this online space, I was just starting as a blog designer and a web designer and a blogger way back in like 2010. It was traditional to put an opt-in box on your site that just said something like, stay up to date, or sign up for updates, or sign up to whatever, our email list. And people would do it because they weren't inundated yet with 1,000 million emails in their inbox. Now we have too much going on. We have way too much stuff coming in our inbox, and our inbox and our email are personal and are protected. So most people are not going to sign up just for the heck of it. Now, if you go to my site, you will see that I do have a sign up box that says like stay up to date or whatever. But that is because I have hundreds of thousands of people coming to my site, and they're coming in through SEO. They're coming in through, they found me on Google or YouTube or whatever. And in doing so, they come to my site, and I am offering them freebies in the blog post, but for some reason, maybe they didn't sign up, and they see that at the bottom of the page and they want to sign up. It's one of my most popular forms on my site to get email subscribers. So it works once you already have an audience kind of coming in, but it doesn't really work from the get-go. All right, so head out there, go build your email list, go be awesome, go do the things it takes to build the business to live the life you love. And until next time, make sure you chat it out with me in the comments below. I'm hanging out down there in the first 30 minutes after this video, and I can't wait to chat. Bye, y'all.